A common thing that people bring to me is their frustration with other people being disrespectful, particularly their children. Really triggers women, just triggers us so much. I want to talk about the shadow of disrespect, okay? So here's the thing about most characteristics in us. Almost all characteristics have a continuum. It's not a yes, no. It's not a binary, it's a continuum. Most of us imagine the other person, say with disrespect, is on the other end of the extreme, way over here, like the worst, the most disrespectful person in the world, right? And then without thinking about it, they think they're on the opposite, which is, I'm over here and I am so respectful. I am so polite. I'm so kind. I'm so generous. And I always think about how I impact other people, right? And so we think we're on these two ends of the spectrum. But actually, most of the time, both of you are somewhere in the middle. Now, of course, we have some people who fall on this extreme and very few people who fall on this extreme, that they have never been disrespectful. But most of us are somewhere in the middle. Most of us are kind of dancing around in that middle space, okay? And so it's dependent on the situation that we're in. But we tend to think of ourselves, especially with like traits that are really important to us, like cherished traits of ourselves. When we see another person, we think, oh my God, that person's awful about that. But here's what I wanted just to offer to you. I want you to think about the continuum, and I want you to think about the extremes. If you're at the extremes of them, what that means is that the person over here who's disrespectful, that person tends to not consider the other person's feelings and abandon others, right? But the person on this side of it, who's always respectful, often is the person who completely abandons herself. She doesn't consider other people. She doesn't consider she doesn't consider herself. She considers only other people. She doesn't consider how she's feeling. And so she abandons and betrays herself. So I invite my clients to consider the possibility that we all want a drip of disrespect. At least a drip. That's what I use, that thought of, like a drip of something. Because guess what that gives? It gives a person a backbone. So when parents say to me that they wish that their kids would be respectful, what I hear is they wish they would obey and they would do as they're told to do. And I say to them, are you sure that's the kid you really want to create? Because I think that we all want a child who has a drip of disrespect, because that means that they don't abandon themselves. They stand up for what they believe in. They advocate for themselves. They don't do things just to appease another person.